The Odyssey, Part 2, blown far from Ithaca once again. Odysseus and his exhausted fleet drifted into unfamiliar waters. Before them stood a towering harbor surrounded by steep cliffs. It seemed calm, almost too calm. Believing they had found a safe place to rest, the fleet sailed into the narrow bay. Only Odysseus, guided by instinct, anchored his own ship just outside the harbor. It was a decision that would save his life. Several scouts climbed the cliffs in search of the island's inhabitants. At first, they found what appeared to be an ordinary young woman collecting water. She pointed them toward the king's palace. But the palace did not belong to ordinary people. It belonged to the Laestrygonians, a race of gigantic cannibals. The moment the strangers entered, the king seized one of the scouts and devoured him without hesitation. The others fled in terror. Suddenly, thousands of giants poured down from the cliffs, hurling massive boulders onto the trapped ships below. The rocks crushed hulls like fragile wood. Sailors leaped into the sea, only to be speared or captured as food. Within minutes, 11 of Odysseus's 12 ships were destroyed. Only the single ship waiting outside the harbor escaped. The loss was devastating. Hundreds of loyal companions were gone forever. The sea grew silent once more as Odysseus sailed onward with the few survivors who remained. Their next destination was the mysterious island of Aeaea, home of the enchantress Circe. Smoke rose from a magnificent palace hidden deep within a forest. Curious but cautious, Odysseus divided his crew into two groups. One group remained with the ship while the other ventured inland. Inside the palace, they found a
Welcome,
beautiful
weary
woman
travelers.
with a welcoming smile.
Come and share our
She
feast.
invited them to feast. The starving sailors accepted,
This
but
is
the meal had been
delicious!
enchanted. As soon as they finished eating, Circe touched each man with her magical staff. One by one, they transformed into pigs. Only one sailor escaped and raced back to warn Odysseus. Determined to save his men, Odysseus marched alone toward the palace. On the way, a mysterious young traveler appeared before him. It was Hermes, messenger of the gods. Knowing what awaited the hero, Hermes handed Odysseus a magical herb called moly. This plant will
Take this
protect you from
herb.
Circe's magic, he
It will
said.
protect you from
When she
Circe's
fails to
magic.
enchant you, draw your sword. She will surrender. Odysseus followed the god's advice. Circe offered him the enchanted drink. He swallowed it. Nothing happened. For the first time in centuries, her magic had failed. Startled, Circe stepped back as Odysseus drew his sword. Realizing she faced a hero favored by the gods, she abandoned her hostility. Instead, she restored every sailor to human form. The enemies became allies. Days turned into weeks. Weeks became months. Before they realized it, an entire year had passed on Circe's island. At last, Odysseus remembered his promise to return home. Circe agreed to help, but first she gave him a frightening task. If you wish to reach Ithaca, she said, you must journey to the land of the dead and seek the prophet Tiresias. Only he can reveal the path that lies ahead. No living man had willingly entered the underworld before, yet Odysseus accepted. Following Circe's instructions, the ship sailed to the edge of the world, where sunlight faded into endless darkness. There, Odysseus performed the sacred ritual. As the offering touched the earth, countless spirits rose from the shadows. The dead had awakened. Among them appeared the blind prophet Tiresias. His voice echoed through the darkness. You will return home, he said, but only if your men show restraint. Do not harm the sacred cattle of Helios, the sun god. If they do, every one of your companions will perish. The warning hung heavily in the cold air. But Tiresias was not the only soul Odysseus encountered. He spoke with his beloved mother, who had died while waiting for his return. She told him that Penelope remained faithful despite countless men seeking her hand in marriage. He met fallen heroes of the Trojan War, including mighty Achilles. To Odysseus' surprise, Achilles confessed that no amount of glory was worth the loss of life. The greatest warrior in history would rather be a poor servant, among the living than a king among the dead. Knowing he had learned all he needed, Odysseus and his crew fled back to their ship before the horrors of the underworld could overwhelm them. See you in the part 3, guys. I changed the animation. It's not perfect, but I hope you will like it and support by subscribed. Thanks for watching.